Hello and welcome to this weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Greek. Sometimes people will ask me, is it possible to get one Bible, like one bound Bible, that has both a Hebrew Old Testament and a Greek New Testament in it? And the answer to that is yes. And if I were to recommend a version for you to get, it would be the one that I'm going to look at today. Zondervan very nicely sent me a sample copy of this, so I thank them for that. It's entitled A Reader's Hebrew and Greek Bible, and this is the second edition that's come out now, A Reader's Hebrew and Greek Bible. And of course, the fundamental question that you may have is, well, what is the Greek and the Hebrew text that appears in this edition? Well, the Greek text, they'll tell, as they say in here, is the text that underlies the New International Version translation. Now, that may sound a little confusing, but basically it's the United Bible Society 5th edition, or the Nestle Lot 28, and except for those places where the translation committee for the NIV made different text-critical decisions. There are about 230 differences in the text of this Greek text, sometimes known as the Zondervan Reader's Edition text, or sometimes it's known by the names of the editors. I'm not sure I'm saying their names correctly, but Goodrich and Lukaszowski, maybe? Goodrich and Lukaszowski, the two editors who put together this text for publishing. And so, but 230 sounds like a lot, but if you look at them, they're usually extremely minor, like whether a word should be in brackets or not in brackets, or whether something is a third-person singular or a third-person plural. It's a very minor things in the end. Now, the Hebrew text, usually when you think what is the standard critical edition of the Hebrew text, you think of the BHS. Well, the Hebrew text here, Hebrew and Aramaic text, is from the Westminster Leningrad Codex. But any place where that differs with the BHS is also noted. Now, this is a really great reader's edition because every word that occurs 30 times or less in the Greek New Testament, the definition is given at the bottom of the page. And for the Hebrew Bible, Hebrew and Aramaic, every Hebrew word that occurs less than 100 times is given at the bottom of the page, the definition. And every Aramaic word that occurs 25 times or less is given the definition at the bottom of the page. There is one caveat with this, though, because when I got this in the mail, I started looking through it, I was like, why are some of these, Hebrew words, I was looking, it's like some of them look a little bit lighter than others, some of them are kind of gray, whereas other ones are black. But if you look a little more carefully, all of the sort of lighter fonts, the gray words, are proper names. And so it's an interesting decision. It makes sense that you save yourself a lot of footnotes here, right? Because proper names occur in the Hebrew Bible about 16,000 times. And so do you footnote all those? But they chose instead to put them in a slightly lighter font and encourage the reader to sound them out, in which case they can usually figure out what the proper name is. Also included in this is a very tiny glossary or lexicon for both the Greek New Testament and the Hebrew/Aramaic Old Testament, and it gives all the definitions of the words that occur with such frequency that they're not footnoted at the bottom of the pages. So maybe you haven't wanted to carry around a Hebrew Bible and a Greek Bible. You want them bound together in one place. I don't know of a better resource to recommend than this, right? A Reader's Hebrew and Greek Bible, a second edition, published by Zondervan, and the price is about, at least on the back, is about $85, so it's not cheap. But then if you think about what you would spend for a Greek New Testament and a Hebrew Old Testament, it seems like a very fair price.